Hey everybody, it's Tom again, Western North Carolina, making a shaving horse, tucking in my shirt, trying to look good. Anyways, I'm going to show you how I upholster the seat. Anyways, we cut out the seat the other day, and what I use for my padding is 1/2 inch thick. I believe it's closed cell foam. I buy a camping pad at Walmart. Anyways, and I also buy my upholstery tacks at Walmart. It's the cheapest price. It's about 97 cents for 30 tacks. Anyways, I cut the pad up, and it just so happens they're 20 inches wide, so that's 2 of them make the width of this thing, which is 10 inches. So you make yourself 2 pieces, 10 by 16. And I use my pattern to cut these to shape. Now you'll probably just have to use your seat to cut them to shape, But I just, using an old scrap piece of wood underneath, I lay my pattern down on there and take my utility knife and just go around and cut them out. Now I save these bigger pieces for shipping. I use them when I pack one of these up. But these other pieces, they're just waste, I guess. So anyways, throw them away. But then an upholsterer guy showed me this one time, that you go around the whole edge and chamfer it. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but you're just knocking that corner off. This isn't where I usually do this at. I usually do it on the edge of my drill press table. So it's looking a little awkward right here, but you're getting that idea. So anyways, you chamfer all the way around the edge like so. And you can do both of them. It don't hurt to do both of them. If I was on the edge of a table supporting this, it'd be a little easier. So there you've got 2 pieces that have a chamfer on them. I'm going to set this stuff out of the way. And then the next thing you need is a piece of leather, like so. Anyways, that piece of leather, I cut that piece of leather out. You can see it's that much different. It looks like about at least about 1.5 inches bigger all the way around. Better measure that. Yeah, about 1.5 inches bigger all the way around. Bigger than your seat. So anyways, you're going to make a stack of stuff here, and the first thing you put down is your piece of leather, the good side down, And then you put your two pads on there, and you put the flat side, the not beveled side, down. And I do it that way because the upholstery guy told me that's how you do it. And he said you wouldn't think you would do it that way, but that's how you do it. And then you put your seat blank on there. Try to line them up. It doesn't hurt if your pad's hanging over a little bit or anything like that. But then I take my little stapler and I'm going to pull this end up. I think I got to go this way a little bit. And that'll be all right. But I pull that up like that and I staple it right there. Then I come down here and I pull that tight. That leather actually stretches. Put a staple there. And then on the side, I go on the side here, pull that up over the corner. Staple it right there. Now I turn it around and stretch that out. Staple it there. Got 4 staples in it right now. 4 staples. Now I'm going to do this corner here. I'm going to pull that up tight. Right in the middle of the corner. Staple. Oh, something happened. Staple that. And I'm going to pull this corner up. Right in the middle of the corner. And then these 2 areas right in here, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to pull that up tight right there. Put a staple right there. And I'm putting a staple right there. Now those are real short staples. I think they're only 1/4 inch staples. I'm going to pull those back out. You don't need a long staple. See, that looks pretty good already, right? So anyways, now you need to start putting in your tacks. And so what I do is everywhere there's a corner, see that's floppy there? You got to fold that over. You have to make a pleat. I think they call it a pleat in sewing. Take one of your tacks, put it in there. My hammer was all covered with dust. But I was talking to that upholstery guy that time. I was complaining about my tacks, getting the heads knocked off of them and different things. And he said to me, you could use a softer hammer. And so ever since then, I've been using this here hammer. This hammer, this green is harder than the red, but I made that hammer in lathe school in the Navy. Anyways, all these corners get a tack wherever you put a pleat. Wherever you need a pleat to get this, material kind of like smoothed up and laying good. If you can't get a piece of leather, any kind of, a piece of denim would probably work just fine. A piece of vinyl will work fine. Whatever you got. I've got a pretty reasonably priced source of leather, so I use leather. I think it's pretty nice stuff. I'll be sad when my supply disappears, and maybe it won't. Now you notice I put 2 tacks in each one of those corners, and up here on the front I'm going to put 3 tacks. I'm going to put one right in the middle and split the difference on both of these sides. I'm just eyeballing these, you know, right there, you know, halfway. On the back here, I put 5 tacks. So I've got a center line drawn on this bottom, remember. I just use it to aim my middle tack. Sometimes if your plywood will have a void in it, you know, there'll be a layer missing for a little bit. You got to be aware and try to keep your tacks from going into those voids. Now on these I forgot one of these. Forgot one of my pleats. Talking too much, I guess. Right in this area, I put in 6 tacks. So there's no center when you do 6, so I just put one, what I think is the right space from that end. And then I put one, what I think the right space from that end. And then I do that again. And then I do that again. Now traditionally, I think when you use upholstery tacks like I'm using them right here, in olden times, if you were looking at high quality furniture, these tacks would be put in so the heads touched each other. That's how often you'd put a tack in. But I think that's excessive for this particular purpose. And so I just space them. And this area, right in this area, it also gets 6 tacks. And there's nothing magic about the number I use. It's just what I have got comfortable with and think it's enough. And the spacing all seems pretty uniform all around. Oh, I did bad on that when I bent it over. It went bad on me. Or I went bad on it. I'm probably me. I just hit it crooked, I think. That's what happened. Maybe there was a hard place in that piece of plywood right there. Do this side now, doing this edge. Or this section, I guess it might be. Now you might want to think you want to put some kind of fancy seat on your shaving horse, but beware. You're going to be wiggling around and sitting in this thing quite a bit. Maybe. I have taken spells of being in mine a lot. You want it to be comfortable. And we got it so it slides, so that makes it better too. So now you're like this. I've got it tacked all the way around, but I've also got it stapled on the bottom. So I've got this little tool. it's a pick of some sort, but it's got a hook on it. And I'm just going to go around and grab every one of those staples and get it started out. I hope you can, maybe you can see this. But those tacks were in there to hold it in place. And then I've got a little needle nose pliers. I grab hold of those tacks and pull them out. Believe it or not, I'm going to put those staples, and you know that's a lot of weight there, but I'm putting them in the metal recycle. Okay, now you've got it like that, and then the next step is to just go around and cut off all this excess. You just got to get started somewhere, and just using the board as your guide, you just run right along the edge of the board. I didn't do very good right there. There. So I end up with a scrap, something like that. I've got so many of these around here, I don't save them anymore. So there's my seat with upholstery on it. I guess you could do that, but not really necessary. But now you can see that there's my center line and my line where I'm going to put my seat cleat. And here's my seat cleat. And you don't need to do this, but it might be a good idea to find the center on your seat cleat at both ends. And that way you're pretty sure that you're lining that up in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle, it's just kind of nice if it is. And I used to eyeball them every time, and I know that they would get a little bit off, and sometimes the grain of the wood fakes you out, faked me out, you know, where is the center. So I put a little bit of glue on there. Set that on there. Got my 3 screws 2 inches long. Got my thing. And I have to push that down while I'm putting the screw in, because the screw wants to jack it apart. And you don't want to overdrive these screws because they'll come out the other side. Now I know you got padding and stuff there, but still, I think it's better for it to not come through the other side. So there's your seat. Okay, that one's jacked apart right there. I don't like that. See, there's a little space right there. So I'm going to back this screw out here and put it in again. There we go. There, I got that tight. I got that space right there that was in there out. So that's your seat. Maybe you can see that, but there's your seat. And like I said, I want to be it when I go to fooling around with those levers. putting those levers on right here, I want to be sitting on the seat, not sitting on these two rails. So there I've got the seat ready. All right. So that's a little video on how to do the seat. And you know, there's a lot of variations you can do on the seat. And you know, just use your own good judgment. Okay, next up is going to be the levers. And I'll be getting to that pretty darn soon. Next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good time out there. Enjoy yourself. See ya.